is the worst artist of all time?
Hello, fellow artist despisers. We can all agree that deciding on a best artist is virtually impossible. It's Bernini. But what if I told you there is one man, one unbelievable...
I think the best artists are stone sculptors. If you can sculpt a human body out of stone, like, you're a fucking genius, dude. Being able to make stone look like muscle and all that shit. I'm trying to find a picture of a stone sculpture that doesn't have a dick in it. Now that's a speedrun challenge. Find a stone sculpture without a penis in it. Now, like this, though. Like, whoever the fuck did this, like, imagine being... Dude, you just have a big-ass block of fucking rock, and you made that into, like, this. I respect that the most more than painting.
Unbelievably bad artist who stands below all, at the bottom of the barrel. How do we find this man? While we begin our journey on the internet with a quest to find, without exception, these forums almost always mention abstract painters, in particular, Pollock. Now, this might be a good time to define bad artists.
I think the worst art is the art that you have to make the meaning of. Like, you ever see, like, art where it's just a blank canvas or a banana stapled to a fucking door? A banana literally duct taped to a wall. Sold for $120,000. This. What monumental art this is, right? Like, if it's like this, and you gotta make the meaning out of it, because this means absolutely nothing, right? I don't know what the fuck the artist is gonna say the meaning of this is, or what some dumbass that bought this is gonna say this is, but this is literally a semi-ripened banana taped to a wall. That's it, right? It's gonna rot, too. Keep that in mind, unless they put some chemicals in it. So this is only valuable for, I don't know, maybe a week. But any art like that, any abstract shit where they just fucking throw stuff at it and then just leave it, like, most of that art just looks dumb as fuck. They're lazy, and then they just scam people into thinking that it's fucking, like, valuable.
A true bad piece of art is a work that fails to live up to its intent. Think, why don't we call Egyptian art bad? The forms make no sense, the perspective is fucked, and there's barely any composition.
Yeah, it was also made in fucking 4000 BC. I can't even make something look like this now. So if a motherfucker could do that, I don't know, 6,000 years ago, I respect that. That's not bad art for the time they had.
Yet, these are not bad paintings, for they were never created with the intent of being realistic. So bad art is something that tries to be X, but fails miserably. Now that you understand, can you honestly say Pollock made quote-unquote bad art? His paint...
Yes. He didn't make... Okay, in his art section, that's not bad art. But I would say his art style is trashy and stupid. Because what the fuck does that even mean? Now, I will say I did want to buy a Jackson Pollock bear brick. Because that shit looks dope. The little splash painting bear brick. Y'all fuck with this? I did want to buy this. Put it in the back of stream. This bitch is like $500 though, so I don't know about that. I might stick with Baby Groot.
His paintings were made to look like this. They achieved their purpose. What we want is...
Well, like, it's the idea, bad art, yeah, anybody could do it. So it's technically, bad art would be something, yeah, tries to be X, doesn't achieve that. But I'm also describing bad art as something anyone could do. Anyone in this chat could make that painting. You just grab paint and just go... And then it's fucking art. Now it's good.
Someone whose works do not. The second most common target is those lazy minimalists. Now, this may come as a surprise, but I am not some Roman bust profile picture having Twitter account owner with some mention to traditionalism in the name who keeps blabbering about how architecture these days is just so bad. I actually like modern art, even the more minimalist works. Think of fontanas/canvases. This is not paint, the canvases were actually stabbed using a knife. Now, even if you find it aesthetically unpleasant,
somebody sold that, they just had a blank canvas and just ripped it.
You must admit just how impressive it is to do something entirely new in the art world. For thousands of years, no one had thought of using the canvas itself as the material of their paintings. This spatialism...
It's not a painting, you just stabbed the canvas 4 times and sold it.
As it's called, is such a creative concept, as Fontana was one of the first to make art that was to be seen as more of a performance. By the way, I have $1 million idea for an exhibition. Okay, hear me out. We take a blank canvas, right? And we use the bottom half of the canvas and we fold it to make origami. And then we put the origami On the top part, hey, Tate Modern, I'm free anytime you want to call. Same goes for MoMA. Just text me and, we can make this happen.
Somebody would actually probably buy that. It's like, oh, the meaning is actually just reusability, right? As you can see, the bottom half of the canvas is actually ripped and torn to pieces. But something amazing was made out of that, what would so-called be trash, right? This canvas seems unusable by the blink of an eye, but actually, you can make it into something majestical.
To the third most hated man, whose name keeps showing up in these forums again and again, Rothko. Now, on abstract and
Who was the dude that sold his canned shit? Who was the guy that sold his poop? Piero Manzoni. That's the worst artist. All right, I saw the fucking video. He would can his poop and then sell it, and that's it. $35,000 for a can of his poop. I don't know if the owner would open it. Oh wait, no, this is how much they got sued because they stored the poop in high temperatures. His poop sold for $12 million. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. One of his poop cans sold for 12 million euros. They got sued $35K for keeping it in a museum in high temperatures. And I guess it got bad. Another one of the cans sold for 124,000 euros in 2007 and 97,000 pounds in 2008. 12 million for poop. Dude, I'd shit in your hand for $12 million. What?
Minimalist works, or any piece of art really, what matters is not how the artwork looks, but instead how it makes me or the viewer feel. Let's do a thought experiment. You're in a museum. You look up to see a small watercolor.
That's so bad. That's so bad. What is that? A tree? It looks like a town. A tree. That's a tree. I can't make anything else out. Dude, the last time I went to an art museum was my freshman year in high school, and I walked around, and there was a room of blank canvases. And I actually said to my friend, oh, are they going to fill these? Because it was one white one red one, and then there was two other ones of different sizes. I was like, oh, are these just not is this a placeholder? They were like, no, this is the art. And you would walk up, and it would say how much it was worth and who made it. And it was just a canvas.
The curator next to you tells you that it was drawn
I actually like it. Dude, I would see this as something you would have in an Airbnb, by the bathroom or some shit. But this is, I already know this is going to sell for some absurd amount of money.
Rothko, as a young painter, got his first solo exhibition in Portland, Oregon. He drew the city in a joyous haste. How do you feel?
That's Portland, Oregon.
You're in a museum. You look up to see an oil painting. Two figures dance at the edge of the sea, their feet touching the sand.
Two figures dance? Bro, that looks like a lamp. That looks like a lamp with a bone as the bottom. Two figures dance at the edge of a sea. Mark Rothko, slow swirl at the edge of the sea. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Where's the ocean? They're at the edge of the sea. Where's the water?
Curator next to you tells you that it was drawn a little after Rothko met his soon-to-be wife. How do you feel?
Bro, if he handed this to his wife and was like, this is for you, honey, she better have been like, bitch, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's a lamp. Thank you for the nice painting.
You're in a museum. You look in front to see a block of color. The curator next to you tells you that it was drawn shortly after Rothko and his wife had their first child, a daughter. How do you feel?
Looks like a starburst. Maybe one of those SpongeBob Krabby Patty gummies I would get at a gas station.
The curator next to you tells you that a short while after it was done, Rothko took his own life. How do you feel?
See, now that, I would actually say has meaning. I would actually say that has meaning. Yeah, his life is darkness. See, that one's a good. If you just show me this painting, that looks dumb as fuck. If you tell me right after he drew this, he killed himself, I would say, okay, I get it. He's into a black void. There's no meaning. How? Because it's just there's no meaning, right? I understand that. I wouldn't buy it, but I would say I get it. I don't get any of the other ones.
Rothko, at his core, is a painter of emotion, attempting to create an experience. Try to imagine what happiness might look like, or how you could put sadness on a canvas. The forms may not be there, but the colors we associate with these emotions are. I mean, using only color to evoke emotion and behavior is not some crazy new idea born from art. Prisons have used a shade of pink called Baker Miller pink for years now because some studies show the color reduces aggressiveness in inmates. There are also multiple reports of the color having no effect or even causing people to be more violent than before. Polyblank is not responsible for any misleading information given. Japanese studies claim that using blue lights in train stations causes jumpers to reconsider and has reduced suicide rates. This too is actually kind of disputed. Polyblank is not responsible for any misleading information given. Brands and their logos use color psychology too.
Why is he saying all this shit and then immediately being like, okay, well, that's actually just not how it is?
I mean, almost every food item is either red or orange just to increase your impulsiveness, to influence your every decision. As one man said,
Hunger makes us hungry. Hunger makes us human. Everyone can see it. Everything's
Yeah,
connected.
if you had a bag of M&Ms and they were just gray, would you be as likely to buy them? Or Skittles? You have a bag of Skittles and they're just gray, right? No.
now with all that out the way, what emotion would you feel from a smoky, almost black purple, or a deep ocean blue? These are some of the 14 drawings exhibited in the Rothko Chapelle. People
See, this is what I saw. This is about what I saw at a fucking exhibit when I went. It was just blank canvases.
who have experienced the Chapelle describe it as an almost meditative experience. There are also
Meditative experience. Sit in a blank room. Go into a room with nothing in it and fucking sit there. Meditative. Oh, fuck no. She paid to get in here, and she's just gotta stare at that shit.
the infamous accounts of someone breaking down crying in front of these gigantic paintings. How this
I'm making fun of them. If I'm at an art museum and I see some motherfucker crying at the meaning of this painting, I wouldn't make fun of them. I'm gonna ask them, why are you crying? Why are you crying? What is so amazing about this? What's so magical about this fucking purple canvas?
happens so much that James Elkins in his book Pictures and Tears says,
There is no survey to prove it, but it is likely that the majority of people who have wept over 20th century paintings have done so in front of Rothko's paintings. And of all Rothko's paintings, people have been moved most by the 14 huge canvases he made for the chapel that now bears his name.
Why? Why are they crying?
this is absolute bullshit. I am sorry to ruin the magic here, but no, a Rothko will not make you cry. This genius marketing strategy of saying these paintings will move you to tears is just that, advertising. I think this guy summed it
The
up.
story. Like, that's how, dude, like, all the modern art today, when it's just like fucking blank canvases or stupid ass paintings that don't make sense, it's all the marketing. You sell a story. You're not selling a painting. You're not selling art. You're selling a story, which is a form of art, but it's fucking annoying. Like, if you're gonna be an artist and you're gonna paint shit, paint something that looks good. Why the fuck are you just gonna paint nothing and then just tell me what it means?
Emotional
Mona Lisa's overrated? Oh my god, thank you, chat. Oh my god, thank you, chat. The most overrated fucking painting ever. It's a picture of a random woman. Who is she? Why do I give a fuck who this woman is? Why do I care? Mona Lisa, dude. Oh, bravo, chat. Bravo, chat. Thank you. How much is that painting worth? Fucking $300 million? It's just a woman. It's just a woman. It's just a person.
Egon Leo Adolf Ludwig Schiele was an Austrian expressionist painter. His work is noted for its intensity. It is true that there are drawings done by extremely evil people. Everyone at some point in their lives gets a chance to dabble in art. This has always made me wonder though. Surely when he was 8 or something, Mao scribbled on a piece of paper. Maybe Napoleon made a little doodle on a book. Maybe Stalin in church school had to draw a little for decorations. Same goes for
when you're in class and you're bored as fuck, do you draw in your notebook? I just draw triangles. I have an obsession with drawing triangles in perfect circles. Freehand circles. If you go into any of my notebooks, half of the fucking pages on the side are just filled with, like, me trying to draw a circle and crossing it out. And then when I make a perfect freehand circle, I fill it in. And then I do it again. One time I colored a page. I colored a page black with my pen. It took me like 2 classes. I was just scribbling because I'm bored. That's schizo activities? Dude, that's not schizo activities.
Anyways, there is no way to find the worst person ever who also happens to be a painter. I mean, there are countless lists of serial killers, each worse than the last, who did a ton of paintings while locked up. I'm planning on making a video on these people at some point, but Until then, we should go back to our search for the true worst artist. Look, after asking my friends, I realized that when people tell me their idea of bad art and the sort of works they hate, it is without a doubt modern art. And no, I'm not talking about the moment, I'm talking about contemporary works. What gets critiqued most is not the beauty of the painting or the emotional response it gets, but instead, and this is very interesting, how much effort was put into it. To keep it short, modern works are seen as low effort and easy to produce. Now, if we were to gouge art based on effort, then the greatest painters ever would be the pointillists, and the greatest artists would most likely just be those performance artists who ruined their lives for art, like Doching Shea, who punched a clock and took a photo every hour for a whole year, meaning he never slept and he never left the studio for more than
What?
Meaning he never slept and he never left the studio for more than an hour. In an interview,
How do I not know about this? He took a picture of himself every hour for a whole year.
then he never
So he could only take power naps. He could only sleep for like 20 minutes at a time. Every hour, though, is nuts. I feel like you would be able to see him become like sleep deprived.
After the work was finished, Shea said the mental anguish was comparable to living in the Balkans for a day. I find the work intriguing, but to say it is the best because it took an immense amount of effort to create does not make any sense at all. Some of the works that touched me the most are straight up extremely lazy.
Yeah,
Like
what
this.
motivates you to do that? Like, oh, my next art project, I'm just gonna take a picture of myself all the time.
Can you imagine walking into a museum and straight up seeing an actual shark just standing there? It's not even taxidermy, it still has its organs. An absolutely deranged artwork. And the name, I haven't even mentioned the name. It's the physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living. Think about that for a second. Can you truly imagine death the moment in your mind? The title alone is enough to give someone an existential crisis. Let's be honest, this took very little work from Hearst's part. He just paid people to catch the shark and then paid people to assemble the piece. But it works. Now okay, we're about to get controversial here and you may think it's dumb, but I even like ready-made art, like the candy piles of González Torres. It's nothing but a pile of candy in a corner. It doesn't get lazier than this. The fun part
And
is
you
that
can just start stealing it.
you're encouraged to walk up and take a piece of candy with you. The artwork slowly deteriorates and eats itself. González Torres eventually passed away from HIV. The piles are thought to be a metaphor for the slow deterioration of the gay community due to the AIDS crisis. A bunch of candy being slowly devoured, stuck in a corner. On these installation
That's
pieces
supposed to be like AIDS?
or found object art, it's usually not about the object shown, but instead the story that they tell. Now, what sort of artist would have to be so bad, so inexplicably awful, for even me, the guy who places candy in a corner, to hate them? Who is this disaster artist? I found him hidden away in an old art magazine. Meet the art of Luciano Fabro.
It's just a tunnel. Or not a tunnel, it's just a building. Is he just taking pictures of like fucking empty buildings? Oh, is this the art? This fucking thing?
Remember my definition of bad art? Something that tries to be X but fails? Fabro is unique. His art doesn't try to be aesthetic but fails. It doesn't try to be effortful but fails. No, Fabro's art tries to be meaningful but fails miserably. Never in my life have I seen such soulless works. It's not that I feel bored or mad or
Is the art the photo or like something in the photo?
curious. I feel nothing. There is no story to be found in a Fabro. The square is not some minimalist
Oh, that's the art?
expression of two lovers eventually meeting or something. And this is not a case of hating something you can't understand, for understanding a Fabro is not difficult. Square is installed and eventually bends due to gravity. Same with wheel. The pole bends. The fluid lines, it's an analogy for Baroque art. Pole is very slightly bent. The cross hangs in the air and bends at the tips. It plays with space and quote-unquote disobeys order. Now that you know their attempt at meanings, one last time, tell me how you feel.
Tell me how you feel. Yo, chat, what emotion do you get from this image of a random wall with two fucking metal rods just jammed through the ceiling and the side of the wall? Okay, this is what I'm doing when I'm done social media. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm copywriting it right now. I have a patent on this. I have a patent on this. By the end of this fucking stream, I have a patent on this. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to start a no, you're going to do it? Fuck you. I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do a show, a live show, right? Where you pay $100 a ticket to see me, and the goal of the show is to disappoint you in what you expect. So you know when you go to a comedy show and you think it's going to be good, and then you're disappointed? The point of my show is that I promise you I will disappoint you. You're going to give me $100, and I'm telling you, it will be a bad show. You're going to be so disappointed, right? I'm going to market it. All you got to do is give me $100, and you're going to hate the show. And I'm marketing as that. It's going to be a bad show, right? You're going to fucking hate it. And so you're going to go in there, and whatever you're expecting, right? Even me telling you it's going to be a bad show, it's going to be worse than what you expect. That's the marketing. It's going to be 1 hour, 1 day, and see, this is an example. This is going to be my first show. Don't tell anybody this. My first show, you're going to pay $100. I'm not even going to show up. The first show, I'm not even going to show up.
After consulting an art professor I know, they told me that these pieces are not made to be appreciated, but instead to be thought over. However, I would argue that these traits are not mutually exclusive. We even have an artist who did exactly what I'm talking about, Duchamp, who also has a piece called Wheel. I know that for most of you watching this, you might find both very repulsive, but even someone who despises this type of art can agree that Duchamp is miles ahead of Fabro.
I would rather look at this.
That's all, folks. Shout out to the guy who predicted this entire video. And if you are still watching, then why not...
That is a dub. Dude, that is a dub. TTV for the sub. I love that video. I actually really love that video. Even though some of my chatters didn't and left. I ain't give a fuck. I love that video. All right. Now we're on to the Logan Paul video.